War is hell. And one of the darkest eras in human history was a home to this hell. World War II was the ultimate battle of light versus dark, right versus wrong, good versus evil. On one side you had the Germans, Italians, and Japanese fighting for power and what they believed to be superiority above all others. On the other side you had the Allies fighting to preserve the world and to stop the spread of these evil principles and ideologies. It was a time of chaos, a time of great scientific breakthroughs, a time of struggles, a time of loss, and time of death. It was a world at war. From the moment you launch this game, you can instantly tell it is not just another World War II game. In fact, I would say it's the most well-done and era-capturing World War II game that I have ever played. On the surface, you might think, oh, it's just another Call of Duty kicking the already dead horse that was World War II shooters. But this game offers something special, and that something is atmosphere. Sure, at the end of the day, this is Call of Duty. You'll take a lot of bullets and heal right through them. You'll have the over-the-top, fast-paced multiplayer that the series is known for. And who can forget the origins of my favorite side mode of all time? Sure, in those parts of the game it's fun, and they also have a ton of atmosphere and charm to them in their own ways. But where this game really doesn't hold back is its campaign. World at War is the scariest game I've ever played, not because of spooky jump scares or monsters that will keep you up at night, but because it displays the horrors of man. I once read a YouTube comment that said, "This is the only horror game where the monsters look exactly like you," and that could not be more spot on. Most Call of Duty campaigns in a lot of ways don't actually display the horrors of war in a way that could be described as realistic. I've never personally been in combat myself, but I don't think this is an accurate representation of how it feels to be in a war zone.
Töten Sie mich nicht!
You want mercy? You do not deserve mercy!
What mercy did you show to
Let me die!
Wait! He may come.
Help us! He can die for us! Mudak!
This is not war! This is murder!
This is how you end a war, Cherno!
This is madness! Americans are building the city of war!
Get inside!
World at War doesn't try to sell the super soldier shooting experience that a lot of other Call of Duties do. This game instead captures the essence and dark tone of World War II by showing you how terrifying war really was. From the moment you get into the first load screen, World at War tells you exactly what kind of game you are playing. Its menu music instantly leaves you unsettled, and the dark, disturbing imagery and the menu art goes with the music perfectly. It establishes a tone and atmosphere faster than almost every other game I've ever played. This is not a happy game. This is a war game, and war is hell. Those three words are words I feel Treyarch's team took to heart. They wanted to show us war, and more specifically how dark, gritty, and disturbing war really is. People die, questionable decisions are made, and people suffer. World at War isn't trying to tell you war is good, or even trying to tell you war is bad. What it's trying to do is show you how it is, regardless of how you feel about it. It does its best to display what real people had to go through, whether that be the Soviets at the Battle of Stalingrad and beyond, or the Americans fighting the Japanese on the Pacific Front. If you play World at War with the mindset of all this really happened and real soldiers, real people had to fight through these times against a ruthless enemy, the game hits you on a whole different level. Real men had to watch their brothers in arms die in some of the most gruesome ways to go. Real soldiers had to watch the trees and the grass in fear of a Japanese ambush. Real soldiers had to live with the fear that at any moment a kamikaze fighter pilot might descend through the clouds to destroy the craft they were stationed on. The enemy in this game is what really sells you that you are at war. These aren't faceless bad guys hired with the hope of a good payday. These are soldiers like you, fighting for their homes, fighting for their beliefs, fighting for their cause. And with the evil views that the Germans and Japanese held dear, that only made them more dangerous. The enemies on the Pacific Front fought with such ferocity because in their culture, surrender was worse than death, and they would rather die like a warrior in a bonsai charge or by grenade in hand than be defeated and taken prisoner. The Germans, when the battle was taken to their land, were instructed by their Führer to not give up an inch of land. When Nazi Germany's days were numbered, they weren't going to go down without a fight. In fact, they were going to fight to the bitter end and take as many lives with them as they could. This only adds to the horrors of war presented to you. You are fighting real enemies of the past and going up against the cruel and evil tactics they actually used. And you start to see the hatred for the enemy in game through your fellow soldiers. The lack of mercy shown to them has taken its toll. They slaughter men who are trying to surrender. They show no mercy when it is asked of them. These men have been through hell and wish to avenge the blood of their people, their homes, their lands, with the blood of their enemies. An eye for an eye, their land, their blood. World at War was the last of an era of World War II Call of Duties, and the setting would not be revisited for a long time. But World at War does the best at showing you, the player, what World War II was really like, with its essence capturing atmosphere, incredible performances, and its willingness to not hold back what really went on in these battles. A game like this I doubt would ever make it through the first stages of development in the world we live in today, and you have to admire how Treyarch's team was so willing to go to the lengths they did to display war in a more honest way. War is messy, war has its costs, war was necessary, and war is hell. Thanks so much if you made it through this entire video. I hope I presented World at War in an honest and true way because at the end of the day, that's all I can ever really try to do. If you think you can handle a more dark Call of Duty by today's standards, I highly recommend this game's campaign because I truly believe it does a phenomenal job at showing you how it was and not how anyone would want to depict these events through any kind of filter. But for now, that's all from me. I've been Multiple Muffins. Peace.